What's up guys, it's Justin here, and today I'm back with another unbox episode where we have a whole variety of things in tech, streetwear, some pretty exciting pair of shoes, Apple's new iPad, some audio products, and also some of the newest smartphones. So I'm really excited to bring this to you, and I've also got a pretty exciting giveaway that you guys have sort of been requesting in some episodes, so hope you guys like that. If you guys want to see me continue this unbox series moving forward, just make sure you drop a like on this video, leave a comment down below about your favorite product in this episode, and also subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'm going to leave a link to everything down below. So the first thing that we got here is Apple's newest iPad that just came out last week, I believe. I think it just arrived yesterday. And this is the 9.7-inch iPad that is the standard size one and is the lower price model compared to the Pro. And honestly, Apple didn't actually change too many things this year, and I guess they didn't really have to, because if there is one industry that Apple did dominate in every way to the point where there isn't really many other choices, it is the tablet. So I know with smartphones, there's a lot of great options out there. There's computers. But with the iPad, I think Apple does have that industry down, therefore they didn't really have to make many changes to the newest generation. So personally, I don't really need an iPad at the moment. I do have the iPad Pro already, which I honestly don't use as much as I would like to. But this is the iPad that Apple kind of gears towards students, whether it's high school, middle school, for educational institutions, or even university students. This is an iPad that pretty much has most of the power that you're going to need for everyday tasks and schoolwork. And this year, of course, there is also the Apple Pencil capability. So if you guys want to see me do like a full review of this, then make sure you let me know down in the comment section. I know a lot of you guys who watch my videos are students, so lately I've been planning some reviews for the Surface Book 2 as well as possibly the iPad 9.7-inch for 2018. So this is what the iPad looks like. It pretty much looks the same as the previous generation. Just take that plastic off. And yeah, here you have the Touch ID. The color that I did go with is silver. It does also come in a gold and of course space gray. And I did hear that the gold was a bit of a different shade as to previous years, but this is just the Wi-Fi model, 32 gigs. Overall very light, nothing really much to say about it because the design is pretty much the same. And below that we have the lightning cable, which is pretty standard as well, the instructions, and of course also the power brick for charging, and this is the 10-watt USB adapter. So yeah, that is a look at Apple's newest iPad that they released in an event that wasn't live streamed last week. It has the Apple A10 Fusion chip as well as Apple Pencil support this year. So I think the Apple Pencil itself is a pretty nice add to this iPad because the Apple Pencil does work very nicely on the Pro, and although it isn't exactly the same experience, it is still going to be very effective for those who plan to take notes or do diagrams. So this is something that I'm so excited for and I've been waiting for quite a while. It came all the way from Europe and it was made possible by my friends at StockX. So if you guys didn't know already, for those who do follow sneakers and stuff, I do really like shoes, and recently I have really enjoyed the Off-White 10-pack. And this one does have a bit of a different box compared to the other different colorways of the Off-White 10-pack, but it does have a bit of a window here that lets you take a look at the shoe. But opening it up here, these are the Off-White Jordan 1s from the Europe release. These have not come to North America yet, and I'm just a huge fan of this colorway. I think it looks awesome with kind of the light blue tint on the sides, the orange patch, and of course the shoelaces are something that you can kind of swap around and customize because they do include quite a few. It does come in orange, white, purple, and also black. And yeah, so these are ones that I've rocked a couple times already, and there's also the classic Off-White tag in the light blue. So these are the Off-White Jordan 1s Europe white release and the Virgil Abloh collab, and I did get these from my friends over at StockX. So for those who don't know StockX is, it is probably the best place you can go to buy shoes and ensure that they are authentic. So what they do is with every single pair of shoes that you buy on the site, StockX themselves will physically authenticate it at their facility before sending it to you, and each shoe that arrives to you will have a certified authentic StockX tag. Of course, with buying any shoe that is sort of rare or comes in at a resale price, you do have to worry about a few different things, including trying to find your size, making sure they're not fake. And StockX essentially has a lot of sizes available in pretty much every shoe that you're looking for, and you're able to track the market price of the shoe, place a bid on it, or you can also purchase it right away at the lowest price that it is currently available on the site. Like I said before, I am personally a huge fan of StockX and have used them before, and I'd love to thank them for sponsoring this video, but I do also want to give away a $350 gift card with StockX so you guys can go ahead and get some shoes as well. I definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and check out StockX and download their app, but I'm also going to leave a link and all the information for the giveaway down below. So the next products that we have are Samsung's newest smartphones, the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, and I did already do a review of the S9 if you guys didn't check that out already, but Dbrand did send these over and I didn't actually do an unboxing, so I want to still go ahead and show you guys what to expect when you receive your phone. So let's just go ahead and use this one here. So pretty typical Samsung packaging, just the blue design on the front and the black. And I believe this one is in the gray color, which I think looks okay. It's not my favorite. I kind of like just a black phone more. I have also seen the purple as well, and that's personally not my cup of tea. But yeah, this is the Samsung Galaxy S9, and inside the box there is the phone itself. I did just rip off the protective tag. And yeah, so that is the phone, and let's just take off the film on the front. And on the back, we do have the newest camo Dbrand skin, which I think looks pretty good because I personally just wasn't a big fan of kind of the mirror finish. So that kind of just hides fingerprints and scratches very nicely, because on my other unit, I actually did already scratch it already, despite being very careful with it. Let's just take a look at what else is included in the box. You've got the adaptive fast charger that Samsung includes, which is awesome. Apple needs to start doing that. And also the USB to USB-C adapter. And lastly, you do have a pair of AKG headphones, so that's nice that Samsung has still continued to include these. And of course, also the USB-C charger, which isn't too exciting, but yeah, that is what you get in the box. And I think aside from that, you just get kind of the instruction manual, documentation, the SIM eject tool. So that is what's included with the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, so really nothing too different there. So the next two things I have are Sonos, and these are things that I actually bought for the apartment, because if you guys missed it, I did do a review of the Apple HomePod and I just wasn't a big fan of it at all. So I actually sold that and decided to go with two Sonos systems for the living room, where one is going to be on the dining table and the other will be in the media stand. So it just kind of has that surround experience from linking these two together. So I think we're going to start with the Sonos One, as that is currently the newer model. I think the only difference between the Sonos Play One and the Sonos One is that there is the voice assistant, and it also has a bit of a small design change where the grille is completely white as opposed to the contrasting silver. And if you guys saw my bedroom tour, you might have noticed that I had the Sonos Play One in that room. But literally 2 weeks after I bought that one, the new version came out for the first time in like a few years. But I don't really use any of the voice assistant things. It was pretty much the same price, so I decided to get the newer model. And it also matches the living room a little bit better with the full white color. But Sonos has a pretty nice packaging design as well. Here you've got the instruction manual with just some of the information about setup. We're not going to read that right now. And in addition to that, you have the Sonos One itself here. And I think other than that, there's only the power cable itself, and lastly, we do have an Ethernet cable, and honestly, I don't think many people are going to need this, but it's nice that it has been included, because if you're streaming music, it's not like the connection in most cases won't be able to support that. So I personally use all my Sonos systems with Wi-Fi, and it's perfectly fine. But if you really need to and you're near the router, then you can also use this cable. But just setting all this aside, let's just take a look at the Sonos One itself. Just take off this nice soft sleeve here. And there you have it. So from the front, it pretty much looks the same as the previous generation Play One. But like I said, on the Play One, it is actually a silver kind of dark gray finish on the grille, where this one is completely white, which I actually enjoy. And on the top, the buttons or controls are a little bit different. They are kind of touch capacitive, but they are a bit different as opposed to just having the two buttons on the top for volume and play pause. From a sound quality standpoint, I believe it is still all the same hardware, but the only major difference is design slightly different, and also voice assistant, including Amazon Alexa support. Moving on to the bigger brother, the Sonos Play 3. Let's just go ahead and check this out as well. And on the top, once again, you do have the quick start guide. And aside from that, inside the box, once again, you get the power cable and also the Ethernet, which I'm once again not going to use. Let's just set that part of the box aside and take a look at the Sonos Play 3. And honestly, when it comes to design, the Play 3 is not as attractive as the Sonos One. It is a bit bulky, but with size comes power. And yeah, so you're able to actually configure this by stacking it sideways or also up front. And on the front, you do have the grill that is the same color as the one that you find on the Sonos Play 1, the older generation of the smaller model. And on the top, you do have the volume control, the play pause. And on the back, you have your Ethernet, the power. What really confuses me a lot of the times, and what I noticed, I think recently from a tweet from MKBHT, is that Sonos, whether it's upside down or upright, says Sonos. So for a few times I was like trying to figure out which way to put it. But that is the Sonos Play 3 and the Sonos One, and my plan is to connect these and have them play at the exact same time in the living room to kind of have that surround stereo experience. And from what I've heard, for people who don't want to get the Apple HomePod because of how limiting it is with Apple Music and having to go through AirPlay, or if you're an Android user, then these are probably going to be your next best option in terms of price and performance. Moving on, the second pair of shoes of this episode is a pair that is a really classic shoe from Nike, the Air Force One, but I still wasn't able to get it at retail. Just my luck, I have never been able to really get a pair of shoes that was released by Q on retail, but the size that I went with was size 8. I am normally 8.5 or maybe even a 9, but I was told to go down in size, and yeah, these are the Air Force Ones, the All-Star Pack. I was going to get a pair of just classic white Air Force Ones, but after I saw the swoosh pack, I decided that if I was going to have one pair of Air Force Ones, it should probably be a white pair that allows me to interchange the stripes based on the outfit. But let's just take a look at the shoe itself before we go into any of the colors that it comes with. But yeah, just a very simple shoe that goes with a lot of outfits. I think this is more of a shoe that goes with a chill outfit, some sweatpants, some tech fleece, and just looking at the shoe itself, it is very simple, but obviously a classic. These are very popular. And going by its name, the swoosh pack, what you're able to do is actually interchange the Nike logos to the color that you like. It is Velcroed on. And some of the other colors that were included with the pack are blue, purple, black, and red. So these are all colors that I actually am a pretty big fan of, and I think will look great on the shoe. So it just depends on the outfit that you're going for. So I think just to have one pair of Air Force Ones, this is one that I'm really happy with. This box is massive, and that is pretty much why I saved it towards the end. And this is the newest Dyson V10 vacuum, which I'm sure you guys have seen some stuff of, but honestly, I am a really big fan of Dyson vacuums. I do have the Dyson V8 Absolute already, and I use that every single day because my apartment gets really dusty. So yeah, that's something that I honestly do use on an everyday basis. And I think for those who live in an apartment or anything, the Dyson line of vacuums is the perfect option because they're completely cordless, so you don't have to run around and plug it into every single wall. And in the newest generation, Dyson made it more powerful. They also extended the battery life. So starting out with this thing, it is the instruction manual, and it comes with a ton of accessories. This is their top of the line vacuum at the moment. The tube also has a bit of a different color compared to the previous generation that I had. So that is the main hose. There's also a couple more attachments here and there for those who are wondering. This is the charging cable. The way it's packed is like so effective that I'm trying to figure out where to open it from. Next up, you also have one of the 2 power heads that are included. And you've also got this guy for larger items and also the flexible head. And I believe there's also another one. These tools. A smaller power head. And it also comes with a wall mount, which is super handy because I personally just have one mounted in my storage room, and whenever I need to just grab and go the vacuum, being someone who's pretty lazy, I can just literally charge it and make sure it's full every single time. And there is also an improved battery life on this model, which is nice. And lastly, I think all we have left is the main components. So just gonna set this over here and open this up. And yeah, this is the Dyson V10, which kind of looks like a giant shotgun from like a fantasy movie and stuff. The canister design is a little bit different. It does look larger and easier to empty without making a mess. And otherwise, you get a ton of different things with the new V10. You've got 2 different power heads, as well as all of the small attachments that are included. And the ones that I personally find myself using the most for just cleaning the apartment on an everyday basis is this one, as well as this hose. So that is a look at the newest Dyson V10, which is obviously going to go into my apartment and replace the V8. and I'll leave a link to this down below as well. That is pretty damn powerful. Otherwise, thanks so much for tuning into this unbox episode, and like I said, I'm always trying to include some variety of streetwear and also tech, but also let me know down in the comment section below if there's anything in particular you want me to check out. I am trying to get my hands on the Huawei P20 Pro, for example. I have had some requests of that. And of course, if you guys want to enter to win that $350 gift card from StockX, go ahead and check the link in the description section below where all of the info is to enter. And if you guys go ahead and pick up a pair of shoes, let me know what you get, as I'd love to know, and I'll see you guys in the next one.